Hello YouTube, how are you doing? I decided I was going to do this topic tonight while I'm home because sometimes I may get to work and I might forget. And it was just something I wanted to talk about. How much does a parent's, we talk about nature versus nurture. And I'm going to open up the comments and I just want y'all's opinion. Once again, Jeffrey Dahmer on Netflix is excellent. I mean, I just have to give it a clap because as a writer myself, I mean, seriously, like, if I ever am blessed to do a series, I would love to be like him. He is so detail orientated. And you could tell when he was in college, he was that student that did that. If the professor asked for 10, he did 20. Like, you could just tell the writer. Also, those of y'all who watch Nip Tuck, I've never seen it, but now I do want to see it because the writing is just so good. And it reminds me of When They See Us, as far as like the details and the going back and forth is similar. It's almost as if they have a template on Netflix. I don't know if you guys notice, but there's a sequence that they follow in Netflix. So the sequence, like, I could see a lot of similarities with how they present the movie. Very detail orientated. It's just amazing. Like, the writer is truly amazing, and the guy who wrote Nip Tuck is the same one who wrote Jeffrey Dahmer. And I am a criminal justice major. I graduated last May. And one of my classes in my senior class was serial killers. And I'm telling you, I learned more in this series than I did in class. Hands down. Like, this writer just, you could tell he put his all in this. Like, you know, when somebody cook and they put their foot in it, he put his brain in it. Like, you could tell he was so passionate about this. And it's just excellent. Like, this came out in September and I wasn't ready to watch it because when you take a serial killer's class, it's good. But I just, knowing what he did, I wasn't ready to watch it. So I gave myself time and I finally sat down and watched it. And I watched it a second time because some things I didn't get. He actually attempted to kill someone in his grandmother's house. He did kill people in his grandmother's house. And right before he got locked up for molestation, it was a black guy. He tried a drug, but his grandmother intervened. And she put him, on the bus. And it's amazing to me how Jeffrey was cognitive enough to not attack his mother, father, stepmother, or grandmother. And that says a lot. That shows that he, as I said in my previous video, he knew what he was doing. At the time of trial, they said that he wasn't insane. But, and on the series, he says to the judge that his doctors told him he was sick. He was sick. So I'm gonna do more research as to find out what was he diagnosed with. So far watching it, obviously personality disorder, obviously OCD, compulsion. Let me explain what OCD is. OCD has nothing to do with cleanliness. OCD is someone who has an obsession. So let's say someone who, what's a good example? OCD would be like a really good example. It's examples that I have in my head, but like someone who's racist and they really hate a particular, like a person who sees somebody, let's say if they hate Muslims, and it's like they have an obsession with Muslims, and they like, oh, they're so horrible, and they keep bringing them up and keep talking about them. That's obsession. Another better example is like compulsion, something that it's like on an impulse. It's like something that you can't help but to do. Like, you have people at work that they seem like they're weird or they work too much. Like, they'll be like, oh, you're not supposed to do that, you know, dot every I, cross every T type of person. That person could have OCD. It's not that they are perfectionists. That's a sign of OCD. Musicians have OCD. I believe that every musician has OCD. I don't care. Like, the reason why I could listen to a song all day, every day, I could watch a movie every day for a year. My father is a musician, and he would practice a song constantly. And that's why, for your average person, if they hear a song too much, they get annoyed. I don't. Like, I could literally listen to the same song all night. You know, so my OCD is not too bad, but I have like a little bit of it. A little bit. I remember when I was a child, I watched Sister Act every day, to the point I know every line for Sister Act 1 and 2. Like, I know the whole script. That's how much I used to watch it. And 5 Heartbeats as well. I watched it every day for a summer. And my father had to stop me from watching it. He's like, Crystal, like, come on now. Like, and when I used to watch it every day now, I used to watch it all day. So the movie would end, and then I would start it back up from the beginning. You know, so I was very obsessed with 5 Heartbeats. I don't know why. I just connect to that movie so much. I don't know what it's about, but it's just something about that movie. I just love the 5 Heartbeats. I really do. And I love Sister Act for the simple. I went to private school, so I think I like Sister Act because I could connect with it. My high school was just like that high school. We were ratchet, you know. We were a little rough around the edges in our uniform, and we would be in class. We would learn. We had our moments, but we were rough around the edges, and it wasn't until we got to like 10th grade that we calmed down. But 8th and 9th grade, yeah. Cold beans, hey, and collard green, hey. Cold beans, hey, hey, collard green, and all of us are super talented. Like, everybody I went to school with had a talent. All of us could sing, rap, or act. We all had a sense of humor. We all cracked jokes, so that's why I love Sister Act. I think every kid who went to private school loves Sister Act. It's like, it's your life reflected back. You know, it's like, yep. I didn't go to a Catholic school, but you always had that one teacher that believed in you. You always had that one teacher that taught you how to sing, that, you know, you might have an attitude and they like, come on. And that's why I resonate with it. But I digress. But with Jeffrey Dahmer, I'm happy I seen it for a second time because I had missed some stuff. Like, you know, sometimes I don't pay attention, so I'm like, okay, let me watch it again. Not just because it's good, but, you know. So the question I have is nature versus nurture. So with his father now, his father used to have thoughts in his head of killing people, which is that's mental illness, hands down. Like, there's no reason why you should walk around. And if anybody hearing at the sound of my voice, if you feel like that, please seek help. I'm being so serious right now. You know, I don't understand why anybody could just want to kill random people that didn't do nothing to you. That's really sad. I've had thoughts of slapping people in their face, you know, but I've never had thoughts of killing strangers. Like, that's a sickness. It has to be. So the father admitted that. Then he married a woman who he knew was mentally ill. I'm not saying, you know, she doesn't deserve love, but come on, man, you got to make better choices than that. And then Shorty was taking medication while she was pregnant, and everybody know you ain't supposed to take, you're not even supposed to take cold medicine. I had a cold when I was pregnant with my son, and I was told by my doctor I cannot take that. They said do not take no medicine under any circumstances while you're pregnant, because that actually causes a disorder in the child. They've done studies on that. So you ain't supposed to take nothing but prenatal vitamins when you're pregnant. So if she was taking anxiety medication, a lot of stuff, mental health issues she had while pregnant, and she was taking meds for it while pregnant. So I think that was a contribution. I didn't know that until really paying attention to the series a second time. Also, the father obviously had a disorder. And Dahmer was afraid of people leaving him, if that makes sense. So some people, when they're afraid of abandonment, they do different things. He resorted to murder. Also, our justice system sucks. How does somebody who molested someone gets to come out in a year? And what happened was he came out and then he killed the brother of the same family. Like, how ironic. And Dahmer is a perfect example of someone who's a child molester. You should not let them out. I don't understand why molestation and rape is treated like a joke in this country. You know, somebody get raped and all the evidence is there, and they released in 5 years. Like, that person don't matter. You know, how you molest a minor and you're out in a year. And then he was able to get an apartment. I live in NYCHA, and the rule is if you have a felony, you cannot get an apartment in NYCHA. That's a rule of thumb. I don't know how it applies to other apartments, but the fact that he was just able to get an apartment so easily is just sad and crazy. You know, so that's the question. Jeffrey Dahmer, was it nature? Was he born like that? Or was it his parents' fault? Also, grandmother turned a blind eye because she knew, just like he said in the interview, she knew. She just chose not to admit the truth to herself. You know, she knew that when that black man was, that's why she said, I'm going to stay right here until he wake up, because she knew within herself something wasn't right. You know, or I'm going to say this too, and some people might get offended. Oh, well, if you have a son, grandson, or any male in your family, females too, but I'm more so speaking to the men, if they don't have any friends or a girlfriend or a boyfriend, like you see that they isolated and don't have a social life, that's a red flag, and you have to pay attention to that, because everybody I know who's antisocial, they have mental health issues. They do, and they exhibit it all the time. So someone who's antisocial and they don't have any associates, at least, I'm not saying they gotta have friends in their crib every day. I'm not saying that. But they don't talk to anybody. They're not dating anybody. They don't have any friends. You need to intervene as a family member, whether you be a parent, grandparent, you need to intervene into that, because that is not normal. Repitang, that is not normal. I'm telling you right now. And it's a shame that Dahmer's family didn't get him help sooner. You know, the grandmother, she knew God's way. She sounded like me. You need to go to church and pray. And prayer works. I don't care what nobody says. But some people need a little bit more than prayer. And Dahmer was one of those people that had he had therapy, had his father, first of all, paid attention to him and just, you know, listen to people. You know, that's what I wanted to say in this video. Please listen to your family. Please listen to people who tell you, yo, I need help. Please listen to that. You know, if they're telling you that they need help, they need help. And there's nothing wrong with getting help. You know. So those are my thoughts. And my question is, who's to blame? His parents and grandma, or the environment? The fact that we live in such a, now it's more accepting, but back in the early 90s, interracial dating was still like taboo. And then interracial gay dating was definitely taboo. You know, so who's to blame? The homophobics, his mentally ill mother and father. I believe the father had to be mentally ill, because for him to have thoughts like that, Sorry, yeah, for him, for anybody, and it's to y'all too. Anybody out there, you have thoughts of killing people who ain't did nothing to you, please seek help. Please seek help, because we don't need other Dahmers in the world. We really don't. So you have any type of thought process of killing strangers specifically, I'm not talking about if, you know, somebody pissing you off and that's like your husband or wife and you momentarily have those thoughts. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you want to randomly kill strangers. You need help. Please seek help. That doesn't make you less of a person. It doesn't make you weak. If you need help, you seek help. You know, therapy is needed for people who, you have an issue and it's overtaking your life. It's over, you know, taking you. Yeah. Just get help for it. Nothing wrong with it. You know, it's just really sad. It's really hard to tell. I feel like Dahmer was evil. I feel like he might have done that regardless, but it's really hard to tell. It's hard to say. But yeah, who's responsible for Dahmer? Is it nature versus nurture? Who knows? Those are my thoughts.